Hello and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Robert Tan. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey. Today, we're looking at the state of the Philippine economy, from ghost projects and new taxes to the peso struggle. Billions are lost to corruption and leakages, while global headwinds and policy shifts test investor confidence. What does this all mean for growth, stability, and the ordinary Filipinos? And joining us this afternoon is Manny Ocampo, President and COO of Investment and Capital Corporation of the Philippines. Good afternoon, Manny. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Robert. Glad to be here.
Thanks for joining us again. Now, Manny, what's your take on this? What the 118 billion peso loss to ghost flood projects, what does this say now about how public funds are being managed?
You know, unfortunately, what it says is clearly there's a system of checks and balances that is clearly absent, or maybe has failed in our system of public works contracting and procurement, no? So where accountabilities seem to be non-existent. Now, if the estimates are correct, then it's a very sorry state for the country, as clearly those funds could have gone to other sectors or projects that would have more truly benefited people, such as, for example, healthcare, education, food production, moving towards food independence, and real infrastructure, which helps the everyday Filipinos' daily lives. Robert?
Yeah. Now, Manny, with what's happening now, and with the signal also that the government is really trying to crack down on this, and with the appointment of Vince Dizon to the DPWH, what does this signal now to what's happening about this issue?
Well, sorry, the appointment of Secretary Dizon is clearly a move in the right direction. We've seen, very early progress of what he's done as Secretary of the Department of Transport, improvements in our airports, etc. This will be a substantially bigger task for Secretary Vince. As far as capability, as far as drive, his drive of getting things done, it's there. We just hope it doesn't burn out in the process. Yeah.
Now, with this, does this help in terms of how foreign investors are looking in now and looking at the business climate, the economic climate, and what the government is trying to do to make everything work?
Well, Robert, it's a move in the right direction. I think if what we're trying to do is gain confidence back in the government, the appointment of Secretary Dizon is clearly a move in the right direction. Having said that, I think we also want to see more action, shall we say, holding people accountable. Clearly, if that's something we do, for example, we charge people, we put people in jail, etc. Then it says that, well, we are serious. We will really go after people that have done wrong, and that's, I think, a move in the right direction, and a move really to get confidence back, not only for investors, but even our people.
Well, that will definitely give a good signal. Now, Manny, will the new bundling of flood projects actually curb corruption or just add layers of bureaucracy?
The bundling is really more for planning. For example, province or barangay A or town A, town B, town C, they would have projects that would be complementary or maybe or supplementary to one another. You cannot have one town, one barangay, or one city doing projects independent of how they will affect their neighboring towns and cities. So bundling, etc., maybe puts it things into a better perspective for planning purposes and the like. I think that's very important that we're able to bundle. Now, having said that, I think, so the question there is, do we centralize again? Centralizing is maybe it delays things because of the you can't move as fast if you were otherwise doing it as a smaller LGU unit, but you at least know that the projects will be working across towns and cities. Robert.
Do you see this as taking a little bit more time? But if the infrastructure leakages still continue, what do you think is the long-term cost on growth and disaster resilience?
Well, first, a failure in the delivery of critical infrastructure ultimately affects several sectors. Our people, number one. In everyday Filipinos that have to wade through floods, are delayed in traffic because of floods, etc. It's our own people that are really going to be affected. Along with that, food. Along with that, healthcare affecting them. Now, the opportunity costs also in doing ineffective infrastructure projects that could have used elsewhere. That's another cost that we bear as a country. Lastly, I think more than anything is people start doubting our government or our local officials when they see that everything being done is failing. So it's just people will say, well, another project that will go bad in maybe a year or two. So what for?
Now, Manny, is the business community optimistic about what's happening right now in terms of trying to crack down and providing more accountability?
Well, the business community, I think, is putting out papers. They are, I think, people are angry. Businesses are angry because they're affected, no? And people are angry that systems are failing, and then they hear that this contractor made tons of money for delivering nothing. So I think the people are there really wanting government to hold people accountable, and that is maybe, we'll call it people power in that respect. But if that really drives the government to move and to act more, so you'll see that people taking to the streets. We hope we don't take the way the Indonesians have done, where they've really gone into burning houses and stuff like that. But maybe not. We're probably more.
Well, hopefully not that way.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not actually the right way to go about it.
Sure.
Now, Manny, let's talk about now the Department of Finance. They're proposing a top-up tax on multinationals to reclaim over 50 billion in missing revenue. Now, is this a smart move or a risky move on their part?
Well, if you will, let me give context to that, Robert, about the global, they call it a global minimum tax, which the Philippines actually signed as part of the OECD agreements back in late 2023. So what it really says is that, what it says is that for multinational firms, we don't want multinational firms moving profits or profitable operations to countries where they can where they have tax arbitrage. For example, instead of staying in Europe, they would move it to maybe a friendlier country that has lower tax rates, etc., or maybe even tax incentives. So income tax holidays, they would move the profits there in that particular country. And this is an international agreement. So what it really is saying is that there should be a global minimum tax of about 15%, and that applies. So whether the multinational enterprise is operating in Europe, in Asia, in the Philippines, etc., it should equate so you don't create tax arbitrage for these MNEs, if you'd like. No.
Now, could
Now,
this? Yeah.
sorry, I was going to say, having said that, I think, well, there are two things. No, the timing may be difficult at this point in time to implement something like that. We also have to put it in perspective, Robert, that what are our neighbors doing? What is Vietnam doing? What is Malaysia and Thailand doing? Are they implementing? Because those are also, they are signatories to the OECD
Yes.
agreement as well. Are they implementing it? I don't think at this point in time, I don't think the Philippines should lead that. Maybe if somebody will lead it, or there's an agreement among ASEAN countries that we all implement at the same time, so that no one country is suddenly favored, and people move everything there.
Now, Manny, you were talking about timing, whether it's the right time or not the right time to do this now. But could this measure enhance fiscal stability or scare away investors?
Okay. Well, the figure that this global minimum taxes are supposed to generate for the Philippines is about 50 billion pesos. Let's call it $1 billion. If our tax agencies were to pursue, in earnest, companies that have been avoiding or evading taxes, they probably will get a substantially better yield than 50 billion pesos. Just implementing existing tax rules and really going after these companies. It's really the tax agencies showing that they are serious, and maybe people toe the line. And the Philippines has a lot of taxes already.
Yeah.
I think if we just implement our taxes properly, we will get that. And again, global minimum tax, that's it's small potatoes compared to going after the big tax evaders, Robert.
Well, I guess when we're talking about tax, especially with what's happening with the flood control projects, people are trying to see whether the paying taxes are at this time is the right moment, right? But
maybe we start with these contracts.
Okay, so Manny, we still have much to discuss, but we'll just take a short break. Follow the money. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Follow the Money. Still with us is Manny Ocampo, President and COO of Investment and Capital Corporation of the Philippines. Now, Manny, let's look at the peso. It's under pressure. Now, how much of this is global and how much of this is local?
I'll say you more or less have a balance of the two, Robert. No, on the global side, we've gone ahead and cut rates while the U.S. Fed is still thinking, will they not? And that causes an imbalance. So you will have on its own, if the U.S. dollar interest rates remain at current levels, with the Philippines cutting, well, then people shift to U.S. dollar investments. No, domestically, we are at that point of the year where you have, companies are doing purchases for the Christmas season. And this is about that time. So there's maybe bigger than normal demand for foreign currency for purchases of goods abroad. No? So that's something. The remittances, on the other hand, will normally kick in later this year, November, sometimes as late as December, January already. So those balancing numbers aren't quite there yet. Will the peso recover towards the end of the year? I believe so. So it's one of those things.
Now, if you look at, you're mentioning that the Christmas season is coming and a lot of spending will be happening, remittances will be will be coming in, kicking in. Is that going to help boost the economy and strengthen the peso?
Well, we are still a consumer-led economy, Robert, and that hopefully will be positive for hopefully our fourth quarter GDP. Government spending is one of those. Unfortunately, is one of those factors that because of all of these things on the DPWH. The ghost projects, we may take that very conservative role of stepping back and cutting down on infrastructure spending, which is not good for growth also. So we have to be mindful and maybe we have to look at balancing things on that one.
Manny, you're mentioning that we are still a consumer-driven country, but with all price hikes coming in, could this drive food and transport costs higher? And how soon will the ordinary Filipinos feel the pinch?
Well, I guess the inflation print this morning at 1.5%, while still within the band of the BSP at the upper band is at about just below 2%. So we're still there. We're I think within the middle of the range now. But it's a clear pickup from 0.9% in last month. So we're starting to see pressure. Do we expect things to get worse or maybe a further uptick in September? We believe so. And a couple of things driving that. You see oil prices and exchange rates moving in the, you're not moving in the right direction. You see, the storms, the typhoons that we all faced, late August, even now, this will affect, this will affect food prices. This will affect transport of food from the provinces to Metro Manila, and again, that drives prices higher. So I guess what I'm saying is, don't be surprised if we see a further uptick. Will it, will we see a dramatic uptick? I don't think so, but we definitely will see that moving up. No, yeah.
Now, Manny, what does this mean now for small businesses and the ordinary working Filipinos and the households when this happens?
Well, I guess we become a lot more selective on what we purchase. We may have to go back into taking a look at, budgeting. I guess the ordinary household will, revenue, shall we say, per capita income is not really going up because we haven't had any labor rate adjustments to catch up with inflation. So if pay is static and prices are going up, we will have to be a little bit more creative and maybe watch our budgets, watch the household budgets a lot closer, Robert.
But I guess that doesn't leave room much for investments. But Manny, when we look at investments, the PSEI still remains quite sluggish. Now, is this a buying opportunity or is the market still quite risky?
Well, I'll say that there seems, the stock market, while there doesn't seem to be any big reason for it to say go into a bull run, say to 6,800. It is trading consistently within a band. If it once it starts breaking 6,100, you see that investors are there to take a look and shall we say, provide a floor, if you'd like, as to where market is. At some point in time, companies become cheap, and it becomes very interesting. But are people aggressively buying it? No. So not yet. So people will look at opportunities. If there's something, if it's a good deal, they will take a look and invest with maybe a medium to long-term view of investing in these particular issues.
Now, having said that, Manny, for the everyday investors, looking at for opportunities with modest savings, stocks, bonds, property, or cash? What's the smartest play right now for them?
Sorry, I will take the lead in maybe saying REITs are my favorite asset class. Say maybe for a couple of REIT issues, but REITs in general, I think provide both an upside as far as capital appreciation is concerned, and also improving yields. As we've seen this particularly for the top REITs available out there. Citicore REIT, which is independent of occupancy and all that. Once the solar plants start generating C-REIT benefits, and they are consistent, they are stable, very stable. You don't see much volatility
in real estate.
Yes, dividends are consistent, so that's a good thing. Other than that, if you had the money that can stay for a while, bonds, preferred shares would be another good bet to take a look at.
And Manny, with corruption issues lingering and global headwinds from the U.S. and China, where do you see the Philippine economy headed over the next 12 months?
Well, if the government were to make honest efforts, and something that people get to see, that government is serious to stem corruption, I think that is definitely a move in the right direction. And then government will also have to pump prime the economy. And this one, the government has good revenues. It's just that they're spending it in the wrong things, or maybe it's going to the wrong projects.
Yes, as we can see,
I think,
yes.
Yes, but if they were to spend it in projects that actually filter down to the common,
and provide value,
common people, it'll be a good thing. It also drives GDP growth, employment. It also drives that. No.
Well, we're all hoping we're headed in the right direction, especially with what the government is doing now in cracking down and giving accountability and more transparency in infrastructure projects. Now, Manny, you've done this before. Let's now go to our rapid fire questions. You don't have to explain, just say yes or no. Should we hire Ghostbusters for the 118 billion pesos lost to ghost projects, yes or no?
Yes.
Will bundling flood projects actually stop corruption?
No.
Is the top-up tax on multinationals a smart move, yes or no?
Yes.
Is the peso crying because of global and local pressures?
Yes.
And Manny, finally complete the sentence. Money is the root of all.
Well, I would say I would have to say ambition.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Manny. Thank you for all your insights, and hopefully we get through this, all the issues, and prime up the economy. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, Robert.
And when it comes to public funds, corruption, and the future of the economy, one warning still rings true. As the late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago once said, I have realized why corrupt politicians do nothing to improve the quality of public school education. They are terrified of educated voters. The Philippine economy is shaped not by just by policies, but by trust, from ghost projects and new taxes to the peso's continued struggle. Insights from Manny Ocampo helps us to see the risks, the trade-offs, and the hard choices needed to secure real, lasting growth. I'm Robert Tan. Stay curious, stay sharp, and always follow the money.